So last November, I listed this property, and within one day, we received an offer on the property. And it didn't come in at the asking price. It came in, lower, with typical conditions, home inspection and financing, which we see a lot. And the seller was convinced that maybe they had priced the property a little bit too low, and felt like, well, if an offer came in right away, I'm just going to hold to my price, and if this buyer doesn't come up to the price, then we won't worry about it and we'll move on. And felt very confident that if one offer came in within 24 hours of it being listed, there would be a lot more. And I tried to explain to the seller that the first offer is usually the best offer. And I wasn't that successful, and as a result, this property is still on the market today. And one of the things I like to make very clear to people, if you're watching this video, is when somebody makes an offer in your property, one day after you list it, what you may not realize is that that particular buyer may have been looking in your neighborhood, for the past 3, 4, 5 months, and they've seen every other property, and yours came up that seems to work. The reality is they may be the only ones doing it, but the perception to the seller often is that there's a whole lot more of these people. Don't make that assumption. I'm not saying you should just take the offer because it's the first offer. If it doesn't meet your requirements or you just feel like you can't make it work, I understand. But just understand also that this may be the only buyer currently that is looking at your property, and if you don't make a deal with this buyer, it could be a long time before you find another buyer. And I think that's why we as agents know the first offer is usually the best offer. And also consider this: the longer you're on the market, the more buyers feel like your price must have not been the right price. And in a down market like we're in Calgary, the most little thing can make a buyer be a little bit nervous, and they start to question whether the price that they're paying is the right price if nobody else was willing to buy it at that price. So keep that in mind as you're entering the real estate market in today's marketplace for Calgary.